Hello, in this video, let's get on to the high watch time from September onwards this year. The first thing I want to focus on would be the fourth blood moon that will happen this year on the 28th of September. And this is a very unique blood moon because it will be the only blood moon that will be visible to Israel. And it's actually signifying coming judgments that will be related to Israel. And going below, Israel will be in the visible zone because the countries around this area, and this is actually the section how less than 75% of the event that will be visible. So the blood moon being visible to Israel will be a very significant marker. As we go over to this page, it says how the 4 total lunar eclipses that occurred around the blood moon's period in 162 to 163 AD. That was coinciding with the worst persecution of Jews. So actually history was proving that there could be disasters upon Jews around the period of the occurrences of the blood moons. So the other one I want to talk about would be the rebirth of Israel. The 4 blood moons occurred on 1949 to 1950, and it was very near to the time of 1948, the year of the birth of Israel. Say it's how less than 24 hours later, when Israel proclaimed its independence, the regular armies of Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and Iraq invaded the country, forcing Israel to defend the sovereignty it had regained in its ancestral homeland. And this was known as the Israel's Wall of Independence, and so this actually signifying this disasters in relation to Israel. Interestingly, this 2014 to 2015 will be the 8th Tetrad so far, and this is representing a new beginning around this period of time. And therefore, this year on 2015 will be a very significant year in regard to coming judgments upon both the world and Israel. And another interesting thing, that the eclipse seems to occur around this 4 blood moon period, while there weren't any over the other places in regards to the eclipse. And this actually reminded me about the 6 days of darkness that could relate to 2015. The blood moon that occurred during a Jewish Passover was a very significant marker. because as we go over to Exodus 12, so in Exodus 12 is about the Passover, and here in verse 29 it describes about the firstborn, the death of the firstborn. And as explained before, this is referring to the sixth seal, which would be the global quake that will be upon the world. And therefore, the blood moon is related to the sixth seal. And also, another very interesting thing, seeing how there's around a 6 months interval between the blood moons. For example, from April last year to October last year, and that's around 6 months interval. It's fascinating to see in between blood moons to blood moons to blood moons, spell that the number is 666. And that's very interesting. That reminds me of the June 6th this year. That's actually echoing back to Sivan 6, which was the Pentecostal period. And that's very significant to take notice of. As I said before, the number 44 is very important, and that's actually going back to the 4th of April Passover this year. And the Ides of March is linked to 44 BC. The 15th day of March, May, July, October would be called the Ides of March, as well as the 13 of other months. We also have to count 7 days preceding, before, and after, which leads to, well, in terms of the 15th day, that would be the 9th of the month, the 15th of the month, and the 21st of the month. And the other set for the 13th would be the 7th of the month, the 13th of the month, and the 19th of the month. Interestingly, when we try to times, try to times 21 times 15 times 9 equals to 2835. When we look over to the strong word of 2835, is very interesting. It talks about little flock, but the thing I want to focus on is this one here, 1 Kings chapter 20 verse 27. So here in 1 Kings chapter 20 verse 27 is very interesting. It says how, and the children of Israel were numbered and were all present, and went against them, and the children of Israel pitched before them like 2 little flocks of kids. But the Syrians filled the country. And it's very interesting when the children of Israel was like until 2 little flocks of goats. This actually reminds me about, well, first of all, the children of Israel also represents the bride of Christ, because the children of Israel is also the children of God. And this is a story saying, and the bride of Christ were numbered and were all present. And it's very interesting because when we see this in context of the Passover that happens, like the blood moon that happened on the 4th of April this year, and how the Passover actually refers to the death of the firstborn, which is actually the global quake. And that's, as they're saying, that during the time of the sixth seal, the bride price will be numbered and will be all present, probably in regards of the barley bride. The two little flocks of goats remind me of the two high places of America, because goats are the evil ones, and so that remind me of the two high places of America. It's very interesting when Israel also look like the part of the goats, and that remind me about how Israel will also relates to the 9/11, as explained before. And this reminds me of the three Pearl shipwrecks. And this is just what I think, but I'm pretty convinced about the three places again. Another thing I want to talk about is the rainbow again. And this time I wanted to go further into the meaning of rainbow. So, the rainbow is actually rounded when you look from the sky's perspective, even though it's like an arc, like have the circle from the land, but from above is a different story. And there's some meaning behind this rounded rainbow, because this is actually echoing to pi. So here, as you can see, is describing about pi. It's the numerical value of the ratio of the circumference of a circle due to its diameter. Before we get into this, very interesting to this pi, because when we get back onto the dual alphabetical chart, we can actually see, well, from the letter P, it's 11, from the letter I, it's the number 9, and that's actually going back to 9/11 attack in relation to the rainbow. And ironically, when I search gay pride flag, actually came the rainbow colors, and this is actually, and so this rainbow pi is actually in response to gay marriage, the sin of homosexuality. But there are more to it. Well, as explained before, Israel also protect the sin of homosexuality. They had a gay parade on the 12th of June this year. And America, they legalized gay marriages nationwide on the 26th of June. And therefore, the sin of homosexuality will be judged. The number for pi is 3.141, and say on. And the approximate value of pi would be a division of 22 and 7, because and it comes up as 3.14 as the approximate value of this number pi. The number 7 is very, very significant. As explained before, month 7 is a very significant year because it's the Jewish New Year. So we go into the wheel. The wheel over here, 7 is over here. And because this will be the Jewish New Year, therefore it can be seen as January. And so that's the number 1. 22 again, say 122 again, because of the approximate pi number that came from the division of 22 and 7. And here you see the number 122 again that came from the parents of Psalm 18 to Samuel 22. And both the psalms are identical, and they are about the transformation of bride and also the sixth seal. There are actually more to that, but these are parts of parts of that. You may wonder what's up with this pi number. Well, when we look in the Hebrews way, we read backwards. In our English way, we read from the left to the right, and from Hebrews way, from the right to the left. And the 3.141 is actually 14 and 13 when you read backwards. And that's very, very significant as we look back onto the chart. The number 13 and 14 interestingly occurred from M to N. And this letter M, when it is exploded, is actually I, V in the middle, and I. And below here, the letter N is actually exploded as I again, and it's kind of like little distorted V, but it looks kind of like a V. And when we look over to the Romans numeral chart, M, that was V, I. So that's 5 plus 1 plus 1. That equals to 7. N, that's V and I. So that's 5 plus 1. And that's 6. So you can see how that's echoing back to Enoch's birthday, Sivan 627, which was the 24th to the 25th of May this year. And this is actually telling us that the number pi in relation to the rainbow that linked to the Gamete colors, and that's echoing back to the Pentecostal period, and this is again confirming Pentecostal judgments. There are actually more to the number 13 and 14, and one of that I wanted to let's get over to September period. So here, from the September period, the start of new month will be on 14th of September. That's 14 again. We're looking for 13, 14. The next month, October. The new year will be 14 again. The other month, November. The start of new month will be on the 13th of November. So December, next month, that will be on the 13th of December. That will be a new month of the Jewish calendar. Just so you know, not every month of the Jewish New Year lands on either 13 or 14. For example, on 2016 January, as you can see, the start of a new month will be in 11th January, and that will be out of the 13-14 boundary. And the same as if you go before September, so that's August this year. So August this year, the start of a new month will be on the 16th. And that's not 13-14 again. And even on maybe like go further back on maybe like March this year, the start of new month was on 21st of March. So that's out of the 13-14. So amazingly, the 13-14 boundary that I was pointing to was from September to the December period, and that's again reflecting the winter cauldron from 9 to 12 o'clock exactly. And therefore, from September to December this year, from September, yes, actually, from, so not only 9 to 12 in the winter quadrant, but also the fall quadrant from 6 to 9, because Gregorian September to Gregorian December, that's also would be a Jewish month 6 and Jewish month 9, and that, yes, so that's actually the high watch time from this coming September to December in relation to, most possibly in relation to the Pentecostal judgments. We can know the season, and this is the this will be a very good season. And also, not only 9/11 is related to the pi number, but also 7/11 is also in a relationship with 9/11. So let's get on to this chart that I I been calculating with the letter 7/11. And here, just doing, like, trying to get the numbers from the letter 7 from both English ways and Hebrew way. And I did the same for 11. Since both columns are Hebrew, 70 and 99, therefore they are identical. And when we do that way, it will be 70 plus 99 equals to 169. 63 plus 65 equals to 128. And 169 minus 128 equals to 41. And 41 is also 14 in Hebrew's way. And this number 14 again, echoing back to the pi number 14 and 13 that are on the same row. And later I'll explain further about 7-Eleven. And let's get back onto the Ides of March over here. Other than like seeing that as maybe like 13 of the month or 15 of the month, the thing that I'm more intrigued about is the one over here, the 13 of the month. And as I said before, the set of 3 in for the 13 of the month would be the number 7, the number 13, and number 19. And I'll explain to you why I've seen that as 777, because so first of all, 7, this one will be 13 points to 1 o'clock, is 1 o'clock, so 13 o'clock, and as I explained before, month 7 will be January because of the Jewish New Year. So therefore 13 is 1, can also be seen as 7 again, and 19, 7 is 19 o'clock. And therefore I'll explain further in another video about the relationship with the 777 and the 7-Eleven that I was explaining about. But let's get on to the untimely fix that I want to focus on right now. That is here in Revelation 6, verse 13. And the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she's shaken of a mighty wind. And this is actually echoing back to Song of Solomon chapter 2, verse 13 again. So here in Song of Solomon chapter 2, verse 13, the fig tree putteth forth her green figs, and the vines with the tender grape give a good smell. Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. So here it talks about the green figs. That is echoing back to Revelation 6:13 about the untimely figs. The words here, come away, is related to the first call. When we look at the harvest season of the figs in Israel, so the saying that in the midst of August and the mid of September would be the figs harvest season. And as I know that from August to September, this period of time is reflecting Jewish month 6 Elul. Therefore, because during Elul will be a fixed harvest season, though that's not untimely anymore. And therefore, after Elul will be the untimely fixed harvest season, because that will be way past the mid-August and mid-September. That's actually bring us to the untimely fix after approximately after 13th September, the earliest by Elijah's calendar, and that would be the untimely fixed season, which will be a connecting point to the timing of the sixth seal that will relate to untimely fix and green fix season. That's out of the harvest season, most possibly. And therefore, from the 13th of September onwards will be high watch time. And also, here in verse 11, it mentioned the time frame about winter and rain. For lo, the winter is past, the rain is even gone. Since Israel is the timepiece that we're looking for, I want to be clear in this how Psalm 7 was pointing the time frame that the winter and rain would be out of the picture of the coming away period. So that's leading to the month September as a very sensitive period of time, because that will be out of the rain zone that lasts from October to May, out of the winter zone that lasts from December to March. And this very, very significant because next month in September will be 121 Jubilee year, specifically when month 7 occurs, so that's around the 13th of September. And this is actually pointing to September is a very high watch time. And seems how that will also be the untimely fixed season after Elul, month 6. That was the fixed harvest season in Israel. I want to get on to the book of Genesis again, because knowing how we're living in the last generation where the book of Revelation will be mirroring the book of Genesis, it will be the beginning of the end. The verse that I want to focus on would be Genesis chapter 6, verse 13. It's very interesting to see verse 13 again. But anyway, here it says, And God said unto Noah, The end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. This is saying how violence was the cause, was perhaps the main cause of the reason why God was destroying all flesh that were with the earth except Noah and the righteous ones, the few who were able to get into the ark, as well as the animals that were ordained. So notice the word here, violence. The synonyms of violence is abuse. And no surprise, because knowing how the scripture has prophesied about how the love of many will wax cold because iniquity abounds. And this is very true. That is obviously reflecting in this generation. So you can see there are overwhelming news from all over the world in relation to violence that includes physical violence, sexual violence, emotional violence, psychological violence, spiritual violence, cultural violence. There's so much violence over this world, and how this generation is even worse than the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, obviously, and could be even the most wicked generation that's ever been. But anyway, I wanted to get into the Pentecostal dates in relation to September, and explain why September will be a hellish time because of the Pentecostal dates. And as you may know, during April this year, Passover happened around the 4th of April. And the Oma Day 1 counted. Day 1 was on the 5th of April. And therefore, on next month, the one I wanted to focus about is the Pesach Sheni. And this is actually the second Passover. So I'm following the same as with the 5th of May. That starts the day 1 over count. Because when we search over the Passover this year, here it says started from the 3rd of April. And it's actually it's interesting to see that April and May, both of them started on the 3rd, and then the Omer count started on the 5th of the month. And it's the same for May, second Passover, because the second Passover started on the 3rd of May as well, and therefore the 5th of May will be the 5th of May was the first day of the Omer count. So counting to the second Pentecost, so other than the 24th to the 25th of May, second Pentecost, when we count the Omer from the 5th of May, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. So 50 land on the 23rd of June till 24th of June. That's 51. So that's because 6 to 7 lasts between 2 dates. So this would be from the 23rd to 24th. Count 50 and count 51. So the second Pentecost was on 23rd of June and 24th of June. And this is what I wanted to focus on, the 23rd of June, because this was the Pentecostal dates. And as we get onto the wheel, okay, so June was in this direction, as I've explained before. It's also in this direction. So even though the 23rd of June is way past, now we're going towards September, and therefore coming September will be a very sensitive month in relation to the Pentecostal periods. Specifically 23rd of September, that's echoing back to 23rd of June. They're in the same equation. So 23rd, 23rd to 24th. I'm not saying that the 23rd of September will be the day of first call or whatever. Just saying that's the boundary that we could start from. This calendar is from September to October. It's the 23rd of September to 24th of September. The boundary is from Tisri 9, the minimum, and maximum would be Tisri 12. So this actually expands from Tisri 9, going back would be the 21st of September. Maximum boundary of 24th of September would be Tisri 12. Tisri 12. Maximum boundary on the 26th of September. So this could be saying that Pentecostal boundaries from 21st of September to the 26th of September. And there are more than this period of the Pentecostal boundary, because Tisri 23 down here could also be seen as September 23, because Tisri runs from September to October. So Tisri is actually September as well. So September 23, September 24, Pentecostal dates. So the boundary of Tisri 23 would go, so that's the October 5th, because this 23, 23, 23, so this is the earliest 23rd, 5th of October, and on the 24th, 24, 24, 24, the 8th of October. So you can see how wide and broad the Pentecostal period. And that was why I was explaining how it's just impossible to know about the exact timing of the first call transformation, but just seeing how the Pentecostal dates is a very wide boundary, but it's also reflecting how from this period of September to October will be a sensitive, like a hard time for us to consider about. And timing starts from sunset to sunset, so sometimes there's a little lag, because if they start the day on sunset, like for example on a maybe like on a 6 p.m., then that would mean from the 6 p.m. would be the start of the day, and therefore if we're on the 23rd, then it would only be on the 22nd, for example. So it's actually a little lag, like one day off.